Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Natalie Lane, and this is Encourage the Artists. It's a series where we sit down with fellow creatives and we go deep, talking about just about anything, from the good, the bad, even the weird. And today, joining us is the lovely Zealyn.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So I met Zealyn randomly at church.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how we got.
Mutual friends.
We met and I was like, this girl's really sweet and like super down to earth.
Same. I just remember thinking like, why does she have everything she wears I want? Like she's so cute. Why is she so cool?
You're like, get in my pocket, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
really
dude.
though.
No, so it was crazy because when I first heard you sing, I was pretty just taken back, like blown away. I was like, holy moly, like goosebumps to the max. But like, how long have you been doing music?
I grew up with music. My mom sings and plays guitar. Learned everything from singing from her. Like all the basics, all the beginning stuff as a kid. I learned everything from her. My dad sings and plays piano. That's where I learned piano. And then my brother plays everything. He's just like, it's not even fair. He plays guitar, drums is his main instrument, bass, piano, he sings. He's stupid good. And just grew up with a bunch of musical friends. And I don't know. Yeah, it was just always around, always a part of my life.
What was that moment when you were like, okay, I think I can do this. I think music could be my career.
I mean, when I realized I was good, when I was 15 is when I realized I was good. And I didn't know what it was like to actually have a career in music. I just knew that I wanted it.
Yeah, you're like,
but
let's figure it out.
When I would sing at church or when I would sing at a competition or sing at whatever, and people would actually come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it's when I actually started getting a response, which was like shocking and cool and weird. And I was like, oh, I think I actually can sing well. Yeah. So that's kind of the age when toyed with the idea of doing it professionally.
Your family is musically talented.
Musically talented.
Dang.
Not a family band, but...
Are they sad that you're now like residing in LA? Like,
for sure.
Are they gonna move out here?
No. They visited, but East Coast is very much home for my parents. But yeah, they miss me terribly. My brother's still on the East Coast, but he's about to move to the West Coast, up in Seattle.
Oh shit.
So they'll be like total empty nesters now. And yeah, I think it'll really hit them hard for sure.
My babies.
Yeah.
How is the music community back in like Boston?
Oh, there's not much of it. I mean, there's Berkeley, which is great, but Berkeley's like totally different. I mean, it's college. It's not the music industry. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot I could say about Berkeley. I really like it. And it has so much talent and it's incredible. But when you're going for like to be an artist, it's like, I feel like it's so much more beneficial to just go and be an artist than spend $50,000 a year being taught how to be an artist. Anyways, but there's a lot of those kind of musicians in Boston. They're like almost taught how to be an individual artist, which that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of jazz. There's a lot of like, I don't know, indie rock, but the industry that I'm in, this like alternative pop or like R&B, there's not much of it there.
Yeah.
It's like totally different. Way less venues to play, just way less of a music community there.
How did you feel? Like, did you ever feel inadequate? Like, just kind of not going to music college? Or was it something where you're like, I just don't feel called to go to college at all?
I just never cared for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never wanted to go to college. Right out of high school, I just like always had the dream to like try out for one of the reality TV singing shows. You know what I mean? Just like I always just wanted to do that and never wanted to go to school.
Do you feel like your expectations of what the industry was before you kind of came to LA, because you're like full-blown artist, like that's what you're doing as your prime, do you feel like your expectations are totally different now, like being in the industry?
Oh yeah. When I moved here when I was 19, I had no idea what the music industry was. No idea. Like I didn't even know what a distributor was to release music. I just like nothing.
Yeah,
like I had no idea. Yeah, for like a good whole year in LA, I had no idea what I was doing.
What did that look like? Just like the year of not doing, like what, were you figuring it out? Were you just throwing yourself into like anything that was music?
Plus I was 19, so I could barely go to any shows. I couldn't network. I was so young and I was alone. I came out with just my best friend. It was just the two of us and we came out. I had no idea what I was doing. So that whole year was pretty much me at my piano just writing songs and walking to the grocery store, doing laundry, you know, I just...
What would you label that season of like you just kind of like, because I feel like probably fruit came from it.
I think shortly after I woke up and I realized, like, what am I doing? Like, oh my gosh, I just wasted like a year. And I think that's the good of it. It's like, it made me realize what I don't want to do. I don't want to just sit and be lazy and do nothing. I need to act, like, I need to learn. And I thought I was so awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 19. I'm in LA. Like, this is so cool. And it like all went to my head. And then I was like, wait, I suck. I don't know anything. The music I'm writing is terrible. What am I doing? And finally had people in my life that like showed me what to do and helped me and guide me and really woke me up. So that's the good that came from it, was like when I was 20, just about to be 21, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah. I mean, and like, how did you find your sound? Like, well, I said that really with sound.
My sound.
How did you find your sound like in that time? Because I feel like that is the biggest thing when you go into music.
Yeah.
You're even in your early 20s, you're figuring out your identity. You're figuring out, especially when you're an artist, who do I want to be? What's the impression I want to leave?
Well, thankfully, I kind of had like a test run at first because I released music under my birth name. I think I was 20 or 21 when I finally released like my first EP under Angie Miller, and it was just really, really cheesy pop music, and I hated it. It wasn't me. It was not me. 3 months after, when I played my first show, playing all this music for the first time, I was so excited and instantly just hated it. I played a live show and I was like, ugh, like this does not feel real. I hate this. And I knew right then and there I needed to change. I needed to rebrand. I needed to find what I thought was cool, what I thought was inspiring. Actually randomly bumped into one of my favorite producers ever at his show. It was Copeland. I don't know if you know the band Copeland, but the lead singer of Copeland, I loved him and his music. And I went to one of his concerts and got to meet him and literally just asked, like, would you produce my stuff?
Wow, that is so bold, by the way.
Like, well, it happened more naturally than that. It was like we had a whole conversation, and then it was later through the Twitter DM. He was like, oh, hey, yeah, like, nice meeting you. I was like, cool, yeah, but like... So, yeah. Produce my project. I'm trying to go this different direction and release music under a different name and just start over. And literally a month later, I went to his studio for 2 months in Florida. Literally went to Florida for 2 months and wrote and recorded my EP Limbic System that released in 2016.
You were doing that all independently?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I definitely, Aaron Marsh was a big part of finding my sound and where I was going to go. His production is beautiful, and it just really shaped the start of my project. I think that my sound has definitely developed since then. That was 4 years ago. And it's definitely changed and gone more pop, more R&B maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it's always cool looking back and just kind of like seeing where you started, the people that you kind of got to meet along the way, and like where you are now, like presently, like, okay, wow, this is a journey where I've been. I mean, kind of one of my questions for you is, what is a pro that you love about the industry? You're like, they're doing this great. I love that. And then what are the like, okay, we could do better. Let's do better in this.
Ooh, which one to answer first? From more of like the artist's perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much like the industry, but I'm really liking how a lot of artists are learning how to brand and market themselves correctly instead of just like looking like a little kid does it or whatever, you know. Like people are valuing content, and obviously social media is everything, but yeah, a lot of independent artists are really like learning and understanding the importance of content and being able to do it independently. But then again, it's like the thing that I hate about the industry is you can only go so far independent. You need money, or you need to know someone, or you need, I don't know, you always need something. And I hate that. I feel like for a while there, the music industry went to, oh, you can be an independent artist, and now it's back to you need a label, you need the bank, the money.
Yeah.
Something that I've really liked about the LA music community is if you find the right circle of people, there's a lot of really genuine independent artists who are supportive and who are so talented and who want to be a part and help. Yeah, it might be hard to find if like someone's just moving to LA and wondering what to do. Just go out and meet people, because I promise you that there are genuine people in LA. They exist and they want to help you and write with you and be a part of your project.
Yeah. It's really like dating in a way. Like,
yeah.
You just need to like jump into writing sessions, seeing if you have chemistry. Like, music chemistry is a thing. I believe in it.
Yeah.
It's scary. You're putting yourself out there. You're being vulnerable with your songs, or, you know.
There's definitely been writing sessions that I have to use like I have a headache, I feel sick, I gotta go. Like, because it's just terrible.
See, I'm too nice. I'll just stay in it and then be like, great, this is great.
I can't. Usually I do. Usually I muscle through, but there was one that literally within the first hour I was like, I need to get out of here. I hate every single idea that he's throwing out. And so I literally was like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go. It's just so terrible.
I'm feeling it.
But yeah, it's just like dating. Like, there could be a date where in the first hour you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling this guy.
Same
Get me out of here.
Internally, what are some things that you wish you would have known before like doing music? Just like like little nuggets you could have like took out and been like, okay, this is a good reminder.
Few things. One is I wish someone told me that a lot of people, well, most people on the industry side of things are in it for money. They don't really care about your art. It's all about a dollar sign. For sure, have had a lot of trial periods with managers or meetings with producers or whatever, that all they cared about was, how can I make money off of you? They use the term grooming, right? Like, people will be extremely nice to you and help you be a part of your project. They love you. They're writing songs with you. They're producing your stuff. They want to help. And then you're like, okay, I want to release this. Like, let's do this. I'm so proud of this music that we've been writing. And it's like, okay, 20,000 a song. And I was like, what? Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, say that again.
What was that? Why didn't you tell me this in the front?
And that literally happened to me, where it was like, I worked on all this amazing music. Well, it was a long time ago. It was back when I was doing stuff under Angie Miller, and I thought the music was so great. I was so proud of it and wanted to release it. And they would not let me go to another producer. They were like, no, you need to do it with us, and we're going to charge you an obscene amount of money. And I was just like, screw you.
Which is crazy, because you're an independent artist. You're not, walking around with $20,000 in your bank account.
Oh, they knew. They knew that. They knew that. They didn't care.
Did that, like, affect your confidence at all? Like, do you feel like as an artist just kind of, like, walking away and being like, oh, wow, if they truly believed in me, they would have just genuinely wanted to help?
Oh, yeah, it sucked. Especially since, gosh, for a year and a half, I wrote with this team of people, and I loved writing with them. Like, I loved it. And I, in my head, they care so much about me, which is why I gave a year and a half of my life writing with them.
Dang, man, the industry. It's crazy.
Yep. Going through crap like that with crappy industry people makes it so much more rewarding when you actually find like your team. So finding my manager now that I genuinely trust with everything and love and respect him, it's like, it makes it a world of a difference.
Yeah, like night and day.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel, like, what do you do to, like, I guess protect your heart, like guarding your heart, because that's something that's not taught.
It just comes down to the people that I surround myself with 100%.
Yeah.
Like, that's what matters. It's not putting your value in your music project, or not putting your value in how many streams you get or how many whatever, but it's like putting your value in your friendships and your family and who you're spending your time with and what you're spending your time on. I don't know, just it all comes down to family and friends for me. Because if you have great people in your life who are going to be honest with you and be there for you no matter what, then like the music's going to be easy. Like, as long as your personal life is healthy and you have good people in your life, like that's just going to reflect on how you're going to react to crappy music situations.
Yeah. What do you feel like was the hardest season in music for you?
Definitely that first year when I moved out to LA, because I thought I was awesome. I thought I was like so much better than everyone else, and it was super selfish. And like I said, it wasn't until people in my life started telling me like, why are you being so selfish? Like, genuinely, people were like, you are acting so selfish. You're not yourself. And I was like, wait, whoa, what? Like, really? became a much better person and happier, and like learned what to do in my life and felt like I had meaning again. And so I don't know, so much of it comes down to people that are in your life.
Do you feel like that was like gradual?
Part of it was gradual for sure, but also like just because of how my music career started, like with the reality TV, there was a lot of praise all at once, and like for a good year it was just constant praise and oh yay. And so I don't know, it kind of quickly went to my head for sure. Yeah, it really, really fast.
I mean, after the show ended, like, because you were on American Idol, was it just like after that, like, kind of did it fall off, where it was just like, okay,
yeah, it's
back to work?
The weirdest thing in the world when you go from 17 million people watching you on TV every week and hundreds and thousands of social media comments and likes, and it's so weird going from that for a year and a half straight, and then the show ends and people instantly forget about you. They're on to the next season. They're fans of the show, they're not fans of you. I mean, yes, there are the fans of you that have continued to be fans, and I'm so thankful for them. But for the most part, once the show's over, they don't care. But then at the same time, I still thought I was amazing. I was like, oh,
it's fine.
a record deal, $1 million record deal is going to pick me up any day now. Like, I had no idea. I was so stupid. I don't think I really went through much of, just negativity or depression then. Now is when I'm like, oh, it's been 6 years and I'm still just, trying to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And now is when it gets really hard. And I see friends that I've known for years now who are getting on amazing tours, or one of their songs is being released by, like these huge artists. And I see my friends starting to do so well, get millions and millions of streams on Spotify. And I'm still just like, oh.
How do you keep yourself in check by like not comparing yourself? Do you feel like?
I think part of it is impossible to run away from. I think that everyone gets stuck in that on their worst days. I think that's nothing that you can fully remove from your head. I don't know, just the people, man. I don't know. I just like having friends that value me more than my music. That if I were to give up right now and say I'm not doing music anymore, they'd be like, all right, what's next?
Like, what do you do to fuel your tank of not giving up and like running the race?
I'm not good at anything else. Like, I'm really not.
I totally get that. Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. And I've invested so much in it now, and I believe in myself. And I think as long as I continue to love the art that I'm making and believe in myself, that I won't stop. As soon as I'm like, I'm not enjoying this, I don't like my music, then I'll probably give up if that were to be the case. And I think that artists need to not be afraid to say, like, I'm proud of my stuff, like, I love my music, I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? I think we need to
Preach, girl.
I don't want this to sound selfish. I think that artists should be the biggest fans of their own music. And I am, good. And I love it. And so as long as that's still the case, I probably won't give up.
It is. It's in a weird way, like, to say I love my music, I love what I'm creating. I guess it's so taboo. Like, it's like, you don't say it to yourself. I think we're so critical, and we're constantly putting on different caps of editing what we're sounding like, producing what we think we want. Like, so much of this internal head game. So I feel like it's so hard to stop for a moment and be like, yeah, actually, I kind of like that. I mean, I listen to old music I've done, and I'm like, okay, I cringed all the way through. But you know what? I'm proud of that, like, 18-year-old, girl who, like, tried. So do you feel like you're going to do music your whole entire life? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that question. That was just a corny question.
Well, actually,
answer
I do think that everyone should create a goal poster. I think that everyone should have a dream board, goal poster, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I always thought they were like, oh yeah, whatever, like just write it down, blah. But I actually had someone in my life recently brought out her dream board from like 20 years ago. And she was like, yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. 90% of what she wrote down happened. And that's like the statistic, is 90% of what you write down will happen if you work for it.
What do you feel like the thought is behind that? Do you feel like it's just seeing it every day? You're like, okay, I'm going to put myself in that.
I think so. It's the constant reminder of, I said I was going to do that. I want to do that. What can I do today to get there? Actually writing it all out on paper, I shocked myself. I was like, wow, that's where I want to be in 20 years. That's what I want to do. And it's really cool. I encourage everyone to do that. I think it's great for creatives who are kind of like stuck and don't know what to do. It's like, write out all the things that you'd want to do long term, like everything 5 to 10 to 20 years from now. What do you want to do? And then in the 3 months to a year, what can you do to like get closer to that?
Okay, name one long-term goal that you have right now and one short-term.
So one huge thing that I like, I'm not in this just for music. I love music and I want to, do music and make a living off of it. But I think that even beyond the music, I'm huge in community, like who you're surrounding yourself with, the people in LA, like the people going to the shows, the people that are performing, like who are the people? I picture like if Billie Eilish right now did an event and invited a bunch of independent artists and gave them tips and said, here's what I've learned, here's tips on songwriting, and just like kind of coached these independent artists, I would love that. I would love to learn from someone who's going through all that right now.
Oh yeah.
And I want to do stuff like that. Like if I were to, get big, like I want to have outlets like that to reach out to independent artists like where I'm at right now.
Which is like a beautiful thing, because I feel like from the first start of like meeting you to like now in our friendship, I mean, we're little babies, we're still growing.
Yeah.
Woman to woman. You were so down to earth and so just like, I want to get to know you. Like, no questions are off limits. Like, but it's true though. You like really do give that where you're just like, okay, I really want to like love on you.
It's so needed. Like even with the beach day that we did, girls beach day, when we all got together with a bunch of girls in the industry, like stuff like that is so important. I value that. I value the community. And anyway, so yeah, one of the 20-year things is like doing events like that, or being a mentor, like starting a management company or a label or something and actually caring about the artists and valuing people more than a dollar sign.
This is such a big question, but like, why do you think we don't have enough people in the industry that are like caring for like artists as like a human being?
Well, I mean, because if you do your job right, you can make millions off people in music. Take these young artists and push them to be the typical pop star and make a bunch of money off of them. I mean, there's been so many cases like that.
Yeah.
Of course I hate it, but I guess I don't blame them. You know what I mean? Like they have a family too. They have a life and they have a whatever. Not saying that I support it, but like, yeah.
We're giving so much power to the labels.
Yeah.
And we're not really taking it back and being like, okay, well, we want to be treated like human beings and like family. I mean, there's just so much change that I think could happen where we could really be doing so much more. I mean, mental illness is such a thing where I'm like, we see just heavy effects of like suicide.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And that's why I'm so glad, like obviously Ariana Grande is like the freaking biggest music star right now, right? Like she's the biggest. And I'm so glad that she is so vocal about getting therapy and help and having time off. And talk about someone who every person with her on her tours is her friends. She just hires her friends to be her dancers and maybe not the musicians, but I know that like her dancers, she's just friends with. If I ever were to get to the point where I was doing like a full US tour, full world tour, whatever, like absolutely, I'd want my band to be my friends. I'd want my, day-to-day manager to be someone I can completely trust. And
yeah. Do you feel like you've struggled with any like, because I don't want to say struggle with mental health issues, but like I feel like there's things that like are just so natural that comes with like the environment we're in,
especially with the whole comparison thing. I mean, it's weird because LA is the most motivating city because everyone's doing great and you're like everyone's going for it and trying to make it, so it pushes you to try to go. But then at the same time, everyone's doing great and trying to make it. So you're like, oh, well, they're doing so great and I suck.
Which I love though. Like from you, like as a woman, you really do create the table analogy of you're like, everybody gets a seat at the table. Like there's room for everybody at the top, which I love because I feel like some people I've met along the way are very like, if you come off as a threat, either you're really good, you have a great following, there's like this automatic pushback.
And people picture that as when you think LA, you think stereotypical, like Valley Girl LA, like super, like, I'm not going to be your friend, I'm better than you. And I've always found that if you go so out of your way to be nice to women and compliment them and say, I love your eyes, I love what you're doing, I love your sound, I love your outfit, I love, if you just go out of your way and like shove love, like it's genuine though. Like I genuinely see women all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your eyebrows, I love your hair, I love you, blah, but like really, if you just say what you love and like just say kind things, so much of the wall comes down. And I've literally seen it happen so many times before my eyes. Literally just last week, I was with a girl who at first just was like super cold and like wasn't really caring to like talk or whatever. And I was trying. I was like, girl, I love your voice. And she was like, thanks. Well, yours is good too. It was just very cold. And it was genuine too. Yeah. She was so sweet. I loved her. And like the more I just shoved her with love, the more she was just like, oh, she's not like some, intimidating singer. Like she's actually a human and she cares. And I don't know, like I love that. I want to break that stereotype of LA women. And I think there are a lot of other women doing that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That are saying like, why am I being a bitch? Like, let's just be nice to each other. Like, why can't I support you? Why can't you support me? Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
And you're doing it well though. Like from like the moment I met you to now, like you've always been genuine and sincerely like, I want to see you succeed. How can I support you?
Yeah. I mean, why not? Like,
hey, my mentality is if I help you and you get bigger than me, girl, you better take me up with you. Like, let's go. We're all going at the same time.
There you go. Exactly. Absolutely. Build us all up together. It's not like just a one woman show here.
Yeah. If you can go back, like you just transport it and you're meeting your younger self and you can say, hey girl, I have some advice for you when you go into music. This is what I'm going to tell you. Keep this, run with it all the way. Okay. What would that be?
First, I would say don't perm your hair.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I permed my hair from 16 to 18 and oh my gosh. Why did my mom let me do that? Absolutely terrible. And then the obvious other thing is like, hey, don't try to sound like everyone else. The more you sound like no one else, the better it'll be. Yeah. So
I love that, which is like so hard, and I applaud you because you are in your own lane. You're doing you, and it's amazing. Like it's Thanks. Your music, the something in your voice. It just is so like soothing and healing. I don't know, man. You hit those registers where I'm like, ooh, feel it in my soul, deep in there.
Thanks. And it is hard. It's really hard not to care what other people think. It's really hard not to try and chase what's cool and what's being done. For sure.
What are some self-disciplines do you feel like you continue to do to kind of like keep yourself like centered in a way where you're like, all right, I feel healthy spiritually, mentally, and emotionally?
Super into fitness. That always helps. I don't know if I'm like stressed or anxious or whatever, like I just love that. And family and friends and community. It's so important. Can't stress that enough.
And I wanted to ask about your husband. Like, how has he been like within like your music journey? Like, do you feel like he's your partner in crime within like creating and going on tour, or does he go on tour?
Yeah, so Zealyn is, it's a solo project. It's me.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, Zealyn is very much a duo. He's good at so many things. He does my website, branding. He'll do videos and promo and content. He also writes half the songs with me, and he's my guitarist and MD on the road. And I applaud the people who have relationships where like, bye, I'll see you in 2 months. I'm going on tour. I couldn't do that. I feel lucky that he believes in Zealyn as much as I do, right? Because that would suck if he was like, hey, I don't know if Zealyn's going anywhere. I don't know if this music is going. Yeah, but like having someone who supports it just as much as you do is like the dream. And like I have that dream. It's like, it's awesome.
I wanted to ask you one more thing before we like kind of end this. Would you mind singing us out, but you have to sing advice? So if a young kid came to you was like, hey, Zealyn, if you could give me like an advice that I can have for the rest of my life, like what would you tell me? And you gotta sing it.
Oh my word. I have to sing it?
Yeah, putting you on the spot. You gotta close it out with a banger, with a finale.
Oh man. This might suck.
It's okay.
It might
go for it.
You know, if I hold out a note or something, you can join in with the harmony or something.
Oh, sure. Girl, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, well, I mean, you know. You just gotta be you. Nobody else. So you just gotta be you. Nobody else. Only be confident and be strong. I'll be you. Nobody else. Hey, we gotta be you. Nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah, girl, you better be you. You be you, okay? Don't give up on us. Isn't it right there?
So why is it confusing? A wall out of excuses. Baby, I'm afraid